Let's go. Hi everyone. My name is the Revd Neil Robinson. That's my sign name. I work full-time as a chaplain in the diocese for the deaf community. I want to give you some feedback on my experience and my reflection of what's been happening recently. I have an interpreter who's doing voiceover for those that are hearing, but at the same time, the deaf community can watch me. So we're having same access, equal access. This year has been a real challenge for me personally because of the coronavirus pandemic and how it's hit the world. Imagine the whole world has been affected and it's changed our thoughts. And it made me think about what does church actually mean? So church is the building? No, it's the people within the building. That's church. So coronavirus pandemic has stopped us meeting people face to face and physically. But thank God for the technology such as Zoom, Facebook, Google Meet. We have various on the market that helps us continue connecting with people. I know it's not the same. So I've been thinking about the deaf community and how coronavirus has impacted that community. Deaf clubs have closed. They've had to close because they're protected, you know, it's their health. And I understand that deaf people, how they feel with it being closed, very disappointed because they want to get together, but it's impossible because of the government guidelines who have told everybody that we must socially distance. It's really hard. I've learnt something really important, that deaf find it hard with people wearing masks. We know with the guidelines that we have to wear masks when we go shopping, when we go to the restaurant, when we go to pubs. But it's a real difficulty regarding communication because the mask covers the face. We can't lip read. It gets quite frustrating for us, and I understand that frustration. For me, I've coped moderately well. You know, people have tried their best with the mask to actually gesture to me. And I've seen people with visors, but again, that's been difficult because of the reflection. So I've not been able to obtain a full lip reading from that person. So that's stressed me too. I'm not saying hearing people, it's, you know, negative. I'm just saying you need to learn something about the deaf community. Whether you're profoundly deaf or hard of hearing. Some people do not use sign language and some people do not use lip reading, and it can be quite frustrating. So it led me to think about their mental health. I will explain more about that. We've got lots of communication barriers and isolation. You know, people feel depressed. They're annoyed, understandably. So my role is important because it helps people to understand that I am trying to help my best regarding helping them, because I'm not qualified in the area of mental health. But it's important that I'm there for them. But I remember one person who contacted me really impacted me. I felt, so saying they felt depressed, they felt isolated, felt apart from people. And as I was talking to them, it really influenced me. And I remembered the boundaries that I needed to actually put in place. And I tried to encourage them to actually go and see their GP or ask a skilled person in the area of mental health that would actually match their needs, because I'm not qualified in that area. I am a priest. I'm there to meet their spiritual needs, obviously. But that really hit me. Technology has been a real benefit because I can carry on my ministry to the deaf community. I regularly post a vlog, preaching or Bible study on Facebook. That's a real benefit that helps me carry on my ministry. And hopefully it keeps me busy. Thank God for Zoom, because before coronavirus, we had visual word gathering. That's the name that we have for our deaf church. And we were face to face and we were meeting monthly. But Zoom has changed that. We now meet every 2 weeks. And you might be asking, why are we now meeting every 2 weeks rather than monthly? So I was reading the Bible recently, and I was in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25, which says, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. That's what's important. That's what our aim is to encourage people with their faith, to become strong in their faith through learning God's word. Plus, encouraging good things. What would be those good things? Getting rid of those masks. We don't want those masks. We want to see smiles, don't we? That actually encourages us. Masks, what's the point of masks? We need to see the whole face, don't we? And through Zoom, we can do that. So that's why it's important to regularly meet every 2 weeks. So there's an interesting thing about that. Before the coronavirus, few people would come to visual word gathering, but now through Zoom, that has increased. I wasn't expecting that. So some people are from north of England who have contacted me, and I'm thinking, I'm in the south, wow. America, Australia, wow, that's really mind-blowing. So it's been a real benefit having Zoom. Not only for visual word gathering, but for different groups too, like Bible studies. Makes me feel encouraged to carry on. Wow. But one thing that does sadden me, maybe there are deaf people, maybe they're older, who don't have access to the internet, no technology at all. So how do I communicate with them? So I was thinking about the government rules, because that stops us from meeting people in their homes and face to face. It's possible to do that. So that impacted me, and I was thinking about them. How do we communicate? So I have to think of another way. So maybe by letter, saying, hello, I'm here. Maybe a text asking, how are you? So things like that I've been exploring. But I have been fortunate. I've been contacted by a deaf lady who I've known well. Herself is known well in the deaf community too. But anyway, she contacted me recently, and she lives on the Isle of Wight. And she asked me that they have a problem because they've got a regular vicar on the island, but he's recently retired and needed a person to actually replace. And we thought of you because you're a deaf priest and you can actually match our needs. And I thought, me? Okay. So I can offer private prayer. But how would that work? Because I can't go onto the Isle of Wight. I'm not allowed to. I said, no, I have an iPad and we can actually introduce you to each person. I thought, oh, okay, that's a start. So we started that recently. I feel so blessed with that, meeting people, having a discussion. Some people are so funny, have a great sense of humour. So we, have a chat, and sometimes they ask me to pray for them. I feel really blessed. And that I can actually minister in that way. Wow. I remember one man there. He was very naughty. He was teasing me, and of course I was teasing back. So it was good to see them encouraged by meeting me, a deaf priest. Wow. Now, with the coronavirus pandemic, that's taught me perseverance. It has. You know what happens, with social distancing, communication. With this technology, it's helped me to carry on, to persevere. It's also helped me to look to Jesus. Facebook has been good. I've had that contact. Of course, with Facebook, there are positive and negatives relating to it, but sometimes Facebook can be negative with negative posts of people complaining over the coronavirus and different things like that. And I feel, oh, I don't want to read that. That's enough. So I actually look at the encouraging things, the positive things that people have posted, plus the Bible verses actually help me carry on too. Technology has been brilliant. It's been perfect for outreach, for communication. That's church in the 21st century. That's it. Maybe you think, oh, I actually prefer face-to-face. And I understand that. But sometimes technology can be useful for getting everybody together and continuing that. Remember, deaf people love touch. They love to get that attention by touching, but we can't do that, can we now? So with deaf people, how can you do that? Socially distance. But with Zoom, it's not the same either. You're waving, trying to get people's attention. It's not the same. And it is this is very different in my life, very different. Remember, deaf people can't hear you shout. You have to try and get their attention. So I want to ask you a question. This is to hearing people, or deaf actually. If you know a deaf person out there who's in your area, and you think, oh, you think of me and Neil, maybe you could explain about, that I'm the deaf priest, Neil Robinson. Maybe you'd like to give them my details, which are on the screen below, just to encourage them to contact me at any time. I'm here. I'm the chaplain for the deaf community in the diocese. Thank you for your time, for watching and listening. God bless you. Bye-bye.